Hello everybody, my name is Alec Snyder and today we're going to talk about FaZe Clan. We're going to give you a basic overview and talk about the history and where they are today. The story of how FaZe got to this point is kind of crazy. There's a lot to it, but I'm going to try and break it down for you guys. FaZe Clan was founded on May 30th, 2010. They originally went as FaZe Sniping, and it was a group made by three young gamers that were 13, maybe 14 years old, and they made trickshotting famous. And if you don't know what trickshotting is, in Call of Duty, there's a final kill cam, and what they would do is make the kill cam look as excessive as possible by adding things into it before the final shot. And this really took off on YouTube and is ultimately why FaZe is in the position they are today. If it weren't for these three people that go by FaZe Clips, FaZe Housecat, and FaZe Resistance, there would be no FaZe Clan today. Ironically, all three of these original founders have no part in FaZe Clan today. But then there came along a couple guys who really saw the potential and knew how much the clan was worth at this point and decided to accelerate that growth. This includes FaZe Temper, who was the original CEO, and FaZe Banks, who was the original COO. There was no corporate structure to the clan before these two guys. In the years to come, many FaZe members would stray away from gaming in favor of content creating and building their own personal brand. In 2014, FaZe Temper and FaZe Banks create the first shared house in Plainview, New York. The idea here was to have a central hub of content creating and increase the quality of their content. In 2015, an entrepreneur invested heavily in FaZe Clan and recruits Lee Trink to serve as CEO. In 2017, FaZe moves the FaZe House to a new location in Los Angeles. In the top right, you can see some updated subscriber counts of popular FaZe members and the FaZe Clan YouTube channel itself. By far, the most popular FaZe member is FaZe Rug with just over 23 million subscribers right now. And in the bottom right, you can see the difference between the 2014 New York FaZe House and the 2017 LA FaZe House. You can see how much FaZe Clan grew just by the difference in these two houses. In July of 2022, FaZe Clan decides to go public, and ever since going public, they've been kind of struggling financially. You can see on the right here, their stock price currently is 58 cents per share, which is not all that great. Recently, in February of this year, FaZe Clan decided to lay off 20% of their staff, but the CEO is still confident in the company. In March of this year, they received a notice of delisting, which gives the company 180 days to get their stock price back above $1, or the stock may be delisted. Despite this, FaZe Clan is still doing pretty well. They have a lot of sponsors and partners, which includes DraftKings, McDonald's, Xfinity, a lot of big names here that you probably recognize. They used to partner with G Fuel, which was marketed as an energy drink for gamers, but since then they've moved on to Ghost Energy. Overall, here they've got a lot of big name sponsors and partners, and I think that's really good for them. Moving on to FaZe logos and their jerseys, I just kind of put a bunch of different ones on the screen here, some of my favorites, some of the most important ones. So the one on the left is just the standard FaZe logo, and the one in the middle is the tricolor one. I really like that one. That one is my personal favorite. And then the one on the right is Atlanta FaZe. That is like the subsection of FaZe that plays Call of Duty, based in Atlanta. So yeah, these are a couple different jersey options for them, a couple different logos for them. But yeah, the middle one's definitely my favorite, the tricolor. So I'll wrap it up with some of my final thoughts here. The images on the screen are from one of the newer issues of Sports Illustrated. FaZe Clan actually became the first esports organization to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which is pretty cool, and it just shows like the size and the influence of the brand. But overall, I know that FaZe has been struggling financially for a little while, but I think for a lot of people growing up with FaZe Clan in the 2010s. Um, it's really nostalgic to see them, and it's cool to see them do well. So I hope that they continue to do well because that was a large part of like my life, especially on YouTube. I'd go home every day and watch more FaZe videos on YouTube. as they came out in the early 2010s. So nostalgic for me, and I hope that they continue to do well. Thank you all for watching. Peace.